Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome to yet another season. This is season 3 of the IHNDY series. In a special way, I want to thank you for journeying with us ever since we started. We were really young, we didn't know what we were doing, we didn't even know how to edit videos, we didn't have, top-notch presentation skills. But look at us, here we are, all because you find sense in what we're doing, and we're very grateful. Now, we want to impact the world and change people one day at a time. And if you wish to join us in this journey, then you can subscribe to our channel so that you journey with us as we move through. Now, in this new season, we want to talk about a number of things. And first things first, I know now the dust has settled of 2025. Those who are cloud chasing with New Year's resolutions are easy mmetulia. And now this is where we come in to continue our journey of growth. Away from all the fuss, away from all the excitement of the new year, we want to remain consistent with you. And that's why today, in this first episode, we want to talk about the journey of seeing again, because we are all trying to be better people day by day. And at some point along the way, we fail. Some point along the way, we lose track. But then how do we come back to line? How do we come back to the light? How do we come back to this journey of growth? And for this reason, today we're going to discuss about seeing again. And joined with me is a good friend of mine here. I've known him since episode 1 of season 1. I think it was episode 2 or 3, of season 1. And we've been together up to now. So, Jeff,
it has been quite a journey.
Welcome, man. I'm really grateful for having been with you all this while. Now, walk us through.
Loud and clear. Look, Sam, I can't agree more. It is a new year. We are starting. We have to start again. Anxieties of life, fears, goals, resolutions, and all that. I can't agree more with the Mark story of Bartimaeus. He places Bartimaeus right in the midst of Jericho, and what Bartimaeus is asking Jesus is, I want to see again. And I think it's a story that me and you will always want to talk about. Something we want to experience. And so maybe just take you through the episode that Mark records in the Gospel of Mark 10, 46 to 52. And he writes in a very simple language. Mark was not a complicated man. In a very simple language he writes. Then they came to Jericho. As Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving the city, a blind man, Bartimaeus, which means son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus stopped and said, call him. So they called to the blind man, cheer up on your feet. He's calling you. Throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. What do you want me to do for you? Jesus asked him. The blind man said, Rabbi, I want to see again. Go, said Jesus. Your faith has healed you. Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. And that's the passage.
Right.
This is so exciting. And I find it to be so passionate. And I think Mark wrote it for me and for you, at least once in a while, to walk with the story of Bartimaeus. But Jesus is with a moving crowd. The episode, we can see a picture of Jesus is with a moving crowd. His disciples, the 12, together with Matthew, the crowd. Now, he's passing through Jericho. You realize it's Mark 10. Mark has only 16 chapters. Jesus has to focus his way to Jerusalem. When you cross-check the first century Palestinian map, you realize that, Jericho is somehow on a steep slope. So Jesus has to go down, then amuke Jerusalem pale juu kwa mlima. So Jesus is passing. Jericho is also not a Jewish city. Jericho, it is for non-Jews. But
Just
why,
like our own Jericho in Nairobi here.
Oh yes. Like, and why should Jesus make
Be
a
there.
journey that passes through Jericho, a city that is not meant for Jews? And me and you, I think, will agree that the glory of God is not just meant for some particular groups of persons. Ireneo says, the glory of God is when man lives and lives alive, lives and lives well. When man enjoys life. It was not just meant for the Jews alone. And I think the passing in Jericho is a sure sign that Jesus, God and life also wants to pass to everyone, me and you included, with whatever things and wherever we are. Now, this man, Bartimaeus hears, he just hears that Jesus is passing. Remember, Bartimaeus is a blind man. Now, what I'm thinking is probably Bartimaeus, I've heard of stories about this man, son of David, who is moving around in the cities around, is healing people. Looks when he hears that Jesus is passing, probably people are shouting, the crowd, people are shouting, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Look at what he says, son of David, have mercy on me. That bothers me. It bothers me because why should a blind man start by seeking mercy? Why couldn't he just tell this healer who is passing around, nataka kuona, I just want to see. But he starts with seeking mercy. Now that hits me hard. Now I'm also intrigued by the crowd around him. The crowd around him, wanasema, kwa Kiswahili wanamwambia nyamaza, wanamkemea nyamaza, shut up. And that bothers me again. Why should the crowd around, they look at this blind man who is just saying, have mercy on me. Now mkemee. Like, what's the problem? Where is you utu in this? Where is humanity in this? So msaidia hata apate kuona ile huruma anatafuta. That bothers again. But look at Timaeus, the son of Timaeus. He shouts again, son of David, have mercy on me. And I think the beautiful thing that ever happened to Bartimaeus is when Jesus hears his call, his cry, and he says, muiteni, call him. And Mark puts a full stop after that, muiteni, full stop. Like, I've heard your cry. It's your time. But I also figure out a Jesus who cannot say, muiteni, na anaendelea kutembea. Lazima asimame, right? He has to stop. And when he stops, he calls them up. The entire crowd stops. Because it's time now for the son of Timaeus. And look at what happens. Look at the crowd around him. The crowd around him now, there's this other crowd that says, cheer up. He's calling you. This is the second type of people. There's the first crowd, ile namkataza, and the second crowd that is saying, cheer up, he's calling you. Now, look at the son of Timaeus. God has called. He runs, he stands up, throws away his cloak, then he runs to Jesus. And look at what Jesus asked him. That should also be compelling to reflect on in our journey of seeing again. Jesus asked him that question. What do you want me to do for you? Like, Yesu aoni ukweli huyu ni kipofu. Mbona aulize? Somehow the son of Timaeus has to say it. Say what you really want. And the guy, and I think the best that ever happened to Bartimaeus is just knowing what to say. Knowing his need, what he really wants. He says, I want to see again. Kuona tena, nipate kuona tena. And look at what Jesus does. Anatumia imani yake. He says, go, your faith has made you well. And look at what the son of Timaeus does. Like, aende wapi? He decides to follow Jesus. And thinking about this with all the emotion and the sentimentality in it, naanza kuwazia tu. Jesus, life, God who wants to bring glory to us. And sometimes he'll have to pass through our cities. He'll have to pass through our lives. It doesn't matter tumezaliwa na wapi, our background have been, our environment. I think he visits. I think God visits. He visits even the places that we think he shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be bound. The greatness that the world and God has to offer haibaki tu kwa watu kadhaa. Nafikiria ni kwa kila mtu. And I think that's my experience here. That in my journey of seeing again this year, naanza na ile conviction tu ya kujuaga ati Mungu anatembelea binadamu popote alipo. I look at Bartimaeus. He's seated there begging. Remember, these are first century Palestinian Jews. And zile, the Bible commentaries na points zikisema, when you are a beggar, when mlemavu, somehow the community or your family weka mahali. And the community knows its responsibility ni wewe tu kuomba, wakusaidie. And so they have to buy you the cloth, or get you something that will protect you in extreme weathers. Kwa sababu wakati mwingine watakuacha hapo, au utakuwa na hiyo sema baridi, sema mvua itakuja and they are not around, so that should help you in a way. So the blind beggar is there. But I'm being struck with the idea ile ya angalia Bartimaeus kwa kusikia tu ati Yesu anapita, when he just heard, he shouts, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Just by hearing. Remember, he can't see. Najaribu kuwazia ile conviction, ile imani, the faith that this man, I have heard stories about him, can also help. I don't know what you think up to there.
Well, a lot of things come to mind. First is as you just well pointed, one, Bartimaeus, first of all, as it is said, the man is so insignificant that even not the Bible names him. They actually give him the name of the dad, son of Geoffrey. Yeah. Like his name, like he's so insignificant, And I think most of us have been there, to a place where you feel that you have no value in society. You have no value in your family. You have no value at your workplace. You have no value in society. And you just feel like you just have nobody. You've heard of places where people, I don't know about you, but there are places you go and they don't call you by your name.
They use this.
They say, "Hey, we mtoto wa nani kuja," or Carmelite kuja, Like you're so insignificant that you're not adding value anywhere. I think we've all been there. And I think that's where Bartimaeus is. That even the writer of the Bible himself doesn't name him.
And Mark did it justice to this one.
Yeah, but in as much as he has known where he is, he still needs light. And that's why I think when Jesus passes by, he's like, "No, you can't come out of this place. Please have mercy on me. I want to be out of this place." Secondly, what strikes me again, as you pointed out, the crowd. I can't imagine that this crowd that is following Jesus for the good things he's doing is still the one kemearing Bartimaeus.
And shut up.
It's no different in today's society. Somebody say that you'll find more help in clubs and bars than in the church.
Where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
You'll go to a pub and someone will tell you like, "Hey, look, we're done with the drinks. Are you headed in this direction? I can give you a lift." And you go. Church, natoka church asubuhi. Somebody clearly knows unaenda your direction. Yana ingia kwa gari yake anaenda. Wewe unaingia kwa gari yako unaenda. Unajua this friend of mine is headed this side. And I think that's the crowd that was speaking ill about Bartimaeus, telling him to shut up. But unfortunately, it's the same crowd following Jesus. And so, putting myself in that situation, I'm like, okay, where do I fall? Am I in the first group of people who we claim to follow Jesus, but we are not helping our neighbor? Or am I in the group where I'll tell Bartimaeus, "Hey, he's calling you, come on.
It's about time."
So it's a point of reflection. Thirdly, the idea of intentionality,
Yes.
Bartimaeus is very intentional with what he wants. Of all the things he could have asked Jesus to do, he just asked for sight. Of all the stories he has heard about Jesus, he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he needs. I think in the journey of Sing Again, especially as this new year begins, as you continue with the journey of growth, it is important to know exactly what you want.
Loud and clear. I
Growth
can't
means
agree.
different things to different people, but you have to know what it means to you. If growth for you means scaling your business, that has to be very clear. If growth to you means developing your interpersonal skills, that has to be very clear.
That's it.
If growth to you means being closer to God this year, that has to be very clear in your head. Because without that, you'll chase up everything and end up catching nothing. Bartimaeus chased his sight and he got it.
Loud and
You
clear.
also need to be very intentional.
Listening to this is just amazing. No, look at Bartimaeus. Now the guy is shouting for help. You have talked about the crowd. Somehow the journey of Sing Again, it is clear itakuwa na ile crowd itatukemea. Na ile crowd ukweli wakati mwingine inaleta negative vibe.
Yeah.
Inaleta zile energy zenye hazitakusaidia kuona tena. No, I was just wondering. But Mills is just seeking, this time round, is just seeking for mercy, huruma. But why should we be hard on people who are simply seeking light, mwangaza kwa maisha yao? Boys, vijana, wenye wanajitoa, they are trying to do something. Somehow we make them feel like, hawataweza. We don't support their abilities, their talents. People who are making strives, kujitoa kwa hizo sehemu, kujitoa kwa Jericho zao. You find yourself in a Jericho. A world where sometimes ile glory of God haitasikika. You are making those efforts. But I think sometimes probably me and you become that crowd. Crowd yenye nakemea wengine. Crowd yenye support. Crowd yenye sometimes hata ni advice tu inastahili upeane. Crowd yenye sometimes inastahili to point to maybe try this. Crowd yenye sometimes ni kushika tu mkono like this is the way, man. Sometimes we become that crowd tunakemea. Maybe the best we hope for as we listen to this story, we become a crowd. We do the exact opposite. We support the system. But look, now tena niko struck na idea. Hata kama wanamkemea, the guy shouts for the second time. I think the journey of Sing Again needs that consistency. Like ukweli sikatai. Crowd kanda yangu it will say whatever it will say. Sometimes haitapeana hiyo support. Sometimes haitaendana na ile matamanio yangu. Lakini life has to become personal. Ni mimi tu nijue nataka nini. Nafikiria hii mwaka ni kujichallenge, like nijiambie what exactly do I want. Because in the long run, crowd won't get it. Sometimes it is, najaribu kuwazia who even is this crowd yenye nanikemea. Sometimes the people very close kabisa. Ni watu wenye wameshindwa kuelewa hii kijana inafanya nini. They don't get it, man. Sometimes even the people around don't get it. But I think the journey of Sing Again is a beautiful invitation, consistency. When he shouts again, ni yeye mwenyewe anajua. Watu kanda yake waelewe. And that should be the goal. When you talk about intentionality, ni wewe tu ndio unajua. You need to be very intentional on these things. Mimi najua nahitaji nini. That's the goal and that's what we go. Now, the beautiful thing, if you ask me, that happened in this passage is when Jesus hears his cry. And look at what he says. Muiteni. Call him. And Mark puts a full stop. Welcome back. Now, Sam, I've been thinking about the crowd. The crowd, this second group of crowd around Bartimaeus. Look at what it says. Cheer up, he's calling you. I want to imagine the first crowd has negative vibes, have negative energies. Wanamkemea, nyamaza. But there's this other crowd that says, cheer up. He's calling you. A sure sign that our journey of Sing Again is also a journey that has been inspired with people who are ready to see our efforts. People who are ready to cheer us up, literally. People who are ready to push us. People who are ready to say, I think it's your time. And I want to imagine it's a crowd that has pity, desires the same thing for, for Bartimaeus. It desires that he should have whatever he deserves. And so when they hear that voice Multeni, for them it's also a time to be happy. It ceases to be just for Bartimaeus. And that's why they say, cheer up. He's calling you. And I think this becomes our prayer partners sometimes. I think this becomes our family members, friends, people around us who value what we value. They understand the things we struggle with. They understand our real needs and desires. Probably me and you can attest to such.
Yeah, and it's proper to, I think, it's proper to position yourself in a place where the crowd around you is able to point you out to, to Jesus, to the light, to the right direction. Because as you clearly see in the passage, there are two kinds of crowds. The one that was trying to bring him down and the one that was lifting him up. So it's important to position yourself in a crowd that helps you. But also, again, it's important to be grateful for that opportunity to be in a crowd that uplifts you. Because at times we take it for granted. I mean, this crowd, as you've seen, it goes either of two ways. They can build you or they can destroy you. And so if you find yourself in a position where the crowd that is around you is actually helping you, then don't take that for granted. You've got to appreciate it. You've got to also, once they've pointed you towards the right direction, just like Bartimaeus, you also do the thing. You do your part. They've done your part. Also do your part by being intentional with what you want.
Loud and clear. Now, and the story goes again. Now, the crowd cheers him up. He gets up. Look at Bartimaeus. The guy, after hearing is being called, the crowd affirms that, he rises up, he stands, then he, anatupa ile vazi, ile koti ambayo alikuwa nayo, he throws it away and he runs to Jesus. I want to imagine the process of getting up. Now, Mark records, anasimama, anarukaruka, alafu ile vazi analitupa. The cloak pass, iko mila na desturi wa Yahudi, because of extreme weathers and all that, when ikiwete unahitaji usaidizi, you needed such a cloak for protection, from extreme weathers. Your family members still will want to care for you. They don't want to let you perish, Now, the things, when I think about that kavazi, when anasimama na rukaruka naendea Yesu, there is a burden that seemingly is throwing away. There's that thing that he is letting off because he wants to accommodate more freedom, more sight, And I think, the fears, the anxieties that we have along the way, when we see our ways opening, when we see the crowd around us cheering us because something good is happening, I think the fear, the anxiety, the worries, the past, we are trying to put it wherever it's supposed to be because we are actually in the process of sin again. And I think there are those two things. I was thinking about the two addictions, uzoefu wa kuombaomba, uzoefu wa for Bartimaeus ni kuombaomba, the kurumisha probably. Sometimes, ndio upate hiyo, you had to beg sometimes, probably cry to create scenes. It was no longer that time. It was time for joy. Because when light comes, I think it comes in its fullness, and we all know it. When glory of God comes, when ways are opening up, we all know it. And I think it's time now for us to embrace that. You don't remain there. Some form of joy. And I think it's something. But I'm also struck with the idea that Jesus sees Bartimaeus coming to him. Look at what he says. He asked him that question. What do you want? Nikufanyie nini? Sentimentally, najiuliza, kwani Yesu haoni ukweli Bartimaeus inastahili aone? Huyu ni kipofu. What will kipofu ask from Jesus? He will ask him sight. But look, he's trying to be very intentional with this. He asked him, what exactly do you want? It shouldn't be a need he's fulfilling. Kwa sababu tu he has to do that. No, it's a need that Bartimaeus anajua. And I think maybe you can say something about, no, we who are struggling to see again, reflecting on the question of Jesus, what you want.
Yeah, I love how Jesus is very direct with him. That what do you need? What do you want? And for us who are striving to see again, then I think our question has to be as direct. Our answer has to be as direct as the question. Don't over-explain. Don't say words. Don't multiply words. Just say exactly what you want. Now bring it down. I think for us who want to grow and develop, we have to be as direct with what we want, what we need. In the sense that, as you said again, growth means different things to different people. Now, whatever growth means to you, you have to speak it out. You have to verbalize it. You have to visualize exactly what you want, so that you don't end up chasing everything and end up catching nothing. So for Bartimaeus, it was, I want to see, as clear as that. Now, for me, what do I want this year? I need to know what I want. What do I want in the next 5 years? I need to know. All these things I'm doing to make myself better. What do I want? I need to know. Failure to which, it will just be another circus, You'll just be running around doing a lot of things, but you don't exactly know what you want. So I learned that from the story, that you have to be intentional with what you want. And the same thing applies to even the friendships you have, the people you surround yourselves with. You have to be very clear. What do I want out of this? What am I getting out of this? If you can't mention it, then clearly it's a show. In the streets on 8 o'clock. If you don't know what you want with your friendships, if you don't know what you want with the people you're surrounding yourself with, if you can't see what you're getting out of them, then apply what I normally say. If it doesn't help you grow or glow, don't hesitate to let it go.
Out and grow. I think every one of us, in many ways, in the journey of seeing again, we have to respond to that. And maybe we have put it in resolutions, we have put it in agendas, we have put it in long-term and short-term goals. Maybe that's exactly what it means here. Journey of seeing again, define it, make it particular. The SMART analysis, you've heard of SMART.
Yeah.
Let it be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. You have to make sure you're getting it right, Kamisa. But then, it's beautiful how the story comes to an end. But before then, I'm thinking of the full words of Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus tells Jesus, I want to see again. Now think of the full statement he has said. Now, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. I want to see again. Yesu mwana wa Daudi, unirehemu nipate kuona tena. Now think of the unirehemu and think of nipate kuona tena. At one time probably, Bartimaeus is trying to say there's a time he used to see. But now something happened, whatever Mark doesn't tell us. And that makes him to ask Jesus, unihurumie. Probably I see a Bartimaeus who wants to feel the sense of responsibility of what happened to him. Probably his part in being blind. Like when he asking Jesus, I want to see again, ishara ya one time he enjoyed the rights of all that. But now, probably of his own contributions. Ndio maana alimwambia unirehemu. No, I'm thinking that our journey of seeing again leads us to ask the basic fundamentals. How was it? What chances, opportunities did I have? Probably we lost them along the way. Probably because of our doings, probably not being intentional, probably not being consistent, probably not going hard. Maybe because of a crowd that was not cheering us up, we failed to attain that. And so we are feeling the sense of nipate kuona tena, nikirudi hapo nyuma and I do it again, but this time round, with full sight of everything, with a cheering crowd, then I can get it. And so I think the journey of Sing Again is a journey that isn't just focused on the future, but it's a journey that also invites us to cross-check some basics zenye tulifanya hapo nyuma. Maybe what is it that I didn't do right? What is it that went wrong? Where did I fail? And in those parts, as a Christian, I will think of unirehem, spiritual nourishment, the inner me that needs healing, the mental me that needs clarity. When that is okay, then you can give me this that is physical. When I've built a world system that inside is okay, then the outward will be more better. And I think that's a journey. The journey that Bartimaeus made is a journey that has to start with an inner healing. And then from inner healing, it also projects to a physical healing that Jesus grants him. So Jesus grants both spiritual. By healing him and making him to see, he receives a spiritual and inner one, but also a physical one. Maybe the journey, I think, nipate kuona tena calls me to go back. Kujigonga, kujichuna masikio ni wapi hapa. I needed to do it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, sure. I totally agree. You've got to take responsibility of where the rain began hitting. You need to know and realize that this is what happened. And so once I'm granted sight again, once I get back on track, then I have to avoid that situation by all means, so that I don't have to be blind again.
I'm getting grasp of that. That's it. Now, I can't agree more with Jesus. And what Jesus tells it. Go, your faith has made you well. Look at what Jesus hinges on. Faith. Something that Bartimaeus carried to Jesus is what has made Jesus to grant him his heart desire. And what I'm thinking of is, what is this that I carry to a world that I want to seek sight again? Nini hii inabeba? Like, what conviction? What kind of a system have I built? So that when in my journey of seeing again, you walk knowing India napeana. This is what I can offer to the world. Give me the opportunity. If I want to become well, and this is the package that I am today. I think it's a call for some form of cooperation. Like, lazima ukuwe na kitu ndio nikupea kitu.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know what you would think about.
Yeah, Nyashinsky said, ule akonayo ndo anaongezewa juu yake. You need something. You need to have something, at least something that the Lord can build, on top. And for this case, it was his faith. Now, for us who are seeking to see again in this year, do we have that firm resolve to do what you're doing? Do we have the disposition that will allow us to see again? For Bartimaeus, it was his faith. Yeah, he was disposed to, to receiving the healing from Jesus. Now, for us, we want to see again. Are we disposed to see that light again? Are we disposed to build again? Are we disposed to get back on track? As St. Thomas Aquinas will put it, grace always builds on nature. Yes, you have to prepare the ground for you to see again.
Loud and clear. I can't agree more. Now I was reading of Augustine, and Augustine is saying, the God who created us without us cannot save us without us.
Sure.
No, somehow we need to
participate.
Yeah. We need to cooperate. No, lazima mikono yetu ishikane. You know, like God is the God and the world that believes in us is always stretching out a hand. But it's need to make effort ya kuguzana. The hand is stretched, yes, lakini tena niweke bidii ya kuguzana na hiyo mkono. And that's where magic happens. Healing happens there, spiritual and physical healing. But then the beautiful thing is Jesus says, "Go, your faith has made you well." Mark finishes that story, that episode, by saying, "And Bartimaeus followed him." Akamfuata. Like, where should I go? No, you have read the psalmist, yeah? The psalmist 23. Check how he finishes the lyrics. Anamalizia kwa kusema, Bwana ni mchungaji wangu, nisita kwa majani mabichi unilaza, maji matulivu niongoza. But he finishes by saying, nitakaa nyumbani mwa Bwana siku zote za maisha yangu. Na anajua wema nazo fadhili zitanifuata siku zote. It's a beautiful thing that Bartimaeus is doing. Like, sasa niende wapi? I'm asking, Bartimaeus anajiuliza, sasa niende wapi? You have everything. You've given me spiritual healing, physical healing. Maybe it's time I follow you. You follow where goodness is. I think our journey of seeing again is a journey after the world, and wherever things we are seeking has welcomed us. Time to follow that goodness, that crowd that has cheered us up. Those are the things we need. The conviction, the faith that these things will happen. Maybe it's all we need. And that's exactly what we follow. And I think the story takes us back to go back again and now start hinging on the things that has made Bartimaeus well. Hearing the crowd, hearing Jesus is passing, he has faith in it. Shouting. Sometimes we love to shout. Sometimes we love to cry for that help. Keep doing that. Consistency. Shouting again the second time was a sure invitation. That's a journey that needs consistency. So it's a point that we were seeing again when life happens, when God drops his hand to us. Nice time to hold on these basic principles. The people who have cheered us, along the way, are people to hold on. Being intentional. A call to always remind ourselves of this that we really need. And finally, making a recourse to always follow whatever light brings and where light comes from. Where light comes from, I think, is exactly where we should do, where we should follow. And I think it's a beautiful story that this year we can start with.
Sure.
Build ourselves on it.
I love the fact that Bartimaeus decided to stay, decided to follow Jesus, because I think he was mature enough to understand, spiritually mature enough to understand that if I don't follow this man, most probably I'm going to fail again. It takes some level of maturity for you to avoid occasions of falling. When we say that we want to avoid sin and all the new occasions of sin, it takes some level of spiritual maturity for you to say, look, if I go this direction, I'll fail. So let me just follow this man. I think Bartimaeus is there. And so as we begin this year, I think it's important for us to say, if I go this direction, I'll fail. Why don't I follow Jesus? Why don't I follow this man? Why don't I follow this route? And so it's still February, early enough to make that decision. It's never too late.
Oh yes,
it's never too late.
That's never been late.
So this will be my appeal to you. Choose to follow him in your journey of seeing again. And as they say in Romans chapter 8, verse 28, all things will work
together for good
for those who trust in him.
They work according to his purpose.
According to his purpose.
Loud and clear.
So all the best this year. I hope we continue this journey of growth. And if you like what we are doing, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this video with your friends so that they too can also join us in this journey. Jeff,
thanks, man.
Thank you, man.